Happy birthday to us.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
day
to
to
us.
us. Happy birthday
Birthday
to
to us.
us.
Brida.
You have the right word. Happy birthday
Birthday
to
to
us.
us. Hip hip hooray!
Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray.
Hooray!
One more time for good luck. Hip hip. Hooray.
Hooray!
That was a nice start. Are we live? I hope so. Am I
Oh, we
recording?
are live. Yes.
And I'm
I
recording this.
checked. I checked before I started singing.
And you sang so well.
Oh, thank you.
Um, There was a bit of a hiccup at the beginning of the week. I hope that we could do our birthday celebration today, and we can. I'm happy. So, on this day in 2025, I
Yes.
did something and you did something.
Yes.
We've never looked back.
Yes. Good
And
times.
it's been not just good, it's been, think of your own expletive term, brilliant.
It's the best decision you've ever made.
I love that. But it takes two to tango, and you had to decide as well. So,
Yes.
credit goes to you as well
Yes.
for trusting me, because it was a little bit bumpy at first, because we had to figure out how we're going to do things.
Yes.
I have no regrets. I do not have one shred of regret the last 365 days.
That's good to know. Me neither.
So, Fruitloop. Well, the only thing I've got to say is that I've been saying this a few times. The only thing that really annoys me is that it took you so long to say hello.
It
You
took you some
didn't.
time to find me on LinkedIn.
I knew you were going to come back with something. I'm surrounded by women who need to have the last word. Anyway,
That's how well we know each other.
exactly, and that's today's theme. But
Yes.
Fruit Loop, I haven't serenaded you for 3 weeks. So
Oh,
we're saying happy
okay.
birthday. But I had this flash of inspiration. I actually had it last week sometime. I had to wait this long.
Oh, wow.
I had to exercise huge amounts of restraint.
Now I have to hear it.
Not to burst into the room and say, I've got another idea, which is probably the worst thing that can happen to us. And maybe we should make it, I don't know if this, if we're allowed to, but maybe we should make it the Brida song or the Brida national anthem.
Okay.
The reason I say that is because the tune is actually widely known. I just changed one word.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I sent you a recording of a trumpet player, an American trumpet player, and he said, he was doing You're Getting Under My Skin, and he does it with some other singer whom I forgot what her name is. Anyway, he said, you just have to hear the first 3 seconds of the song and you instantly recognize it, which I didn't, but I think with this one, I think you might. So I'm going to take a sip of my coffee so that I have a good, clear voice.
Okay.
Have you got your earplugs in so you don't hear my croaking?
No, I don't.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Oh, when the spuds come marching in. Oh, when the spuds come marching in. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the spuds come marching in.
Wow. That's very cool.
Right. So,
That's a good anthem.
it is, isn't it? Motivating pick me up, and it's
Yes. Yes.
fitting to our potato history.
Yes.
Um,
Definitely. Where it all started.
That's where it all started. Yeah, killing potatoes.
Discussion about potatoes.
Yeah, on LinkedIn of all places.
Yes.
There's this
Yes.
strange world that is LinkedIn, and there's two people who meet over potatoes. Do you think it was fate?
Yes. I think I mentioned that to you last year already, that it was faith. It was meant to happen.
You said to I'm going to speak with an old man. Yeah.
An old man sent me a message.
who had the old man has aged physically but has grown infinitely younger mentally.
That's good.
That's your doing. Yeah.
That's good.
Now, Fruit Loops. Do you want to say anything before? You want to introduce our topic for today? Because
I can do the introduction.
You can do the introduction.
Oh, yes.
Ladies
because
and
that's our yes, ladies and gentlemen, because it is our birthday today, we are going to test how well we know each other. So I have 10 questions and Mr. Mayor has 10 questions. I have pen and paper. I'm going to keep count and then see who's the winner.
Cheating.
No.
Okay.
Let's start with you. You can ask the first question. Let's do one. We'll take turns.
And what are the we've got to set out the rules. So I ask a question about myself, and you answer it.
Yes.
And if the answer is correct, then you get a point. Yeah.
Yes.
And if I get the point right, which you sent me a test question, I wrote back, oh, that was too easy. Or maybe I shouldn't have.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
I think you know. I think you know the answer, but it's probably something else.
Well, yeah. Well,
that's why I chose that one.
Yeah, I did actually see two possibilities in that question. There's a 50-50 chance that you get it right or get it wrong. Yeah.
Yes.
So I've done the same thing. I've done a slightly different caveat as well.
Okay.
But anyway, right. So I'm to start, yeah, and you're keeping score.
Yes.
You're not independently unbiased, are you?
No.
Okay.
I'll be honest because it's recorded.
Yeah, but we can't actually see what you're writing.
No, but it's recorded. So if you think that I'm cheating, you can always go back to the recording.
Now, why would I think you're cheating?
I don't know. I don't know. You just asked me what if I mess things up?
Okay. All right. So my first question, I think you know me a little bit. My first question is, if the mayor says, this is interesting, what is actually happening?
Wow, that's tricky.
I actually spent a quite considerable amount of time thinking and preparing this one. And you may give me grief.
I think there can be two possibilities. That is interesting, can be sarcastic. But I doubt that is the right answer. I think if you say something is interesting, I think it is something that you really like and something that you will look into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you usually see through all of that?
It takes me a minute or two. And then usually you will say, I have an idea.
How do you react to that? What do you want to do? Crawl under a rock and just want me to let him go away, or
I listen to the idea
and then do your own thing?
and do my own thing.
That was one of those things that will never, it's ingrained in, Yeah.
Yes, it sticks.
Very sticky. Okay, no, so you were right. Yeah, I'm thinking
1
of
point for me. Wow.
I'm analyzing it. Yeah. Okay.
My questions are a lot easier.
That's what I tend to think they are not, because they look easy at first. Hang on a minute. Okay, so.
What is my favorite dessert?
We had a group of that name. And the one person who was in that group, it's her birthday today, Sarah, in Saudi Arabia. It's her birthday today.
Yes.
And she was in a little thing called crème brûlée. So since I'm absolutely mathematically brilliant, if I combine the logic with the illogical and add 1 and 1 together, I get crème brûlée. So 1 + 1 does not equal. He said just one to your son. This mass Brida style. Okay, 1 + 1 is not 2. It's crème brûlée, and it has to be pronounced the French way, crème brûlée. So voila. So
okay. My second favorite. You know the answer.
I don't know if it's actually a dessert or if it's just confectionery. I think the lint balls.
Oh no! You sent me a picture yesterday.
They are lethal. They're not these lint balls. They're something that they're even worse. I tell you, my mother gave them to me yesterday because I did something for a little thank you.
No, you are off. You sent me a message yesterday. The doors opened.
Oh my God, I sent so many messages. I haven't got my phone.
Can't remember. The ice cream.
Oh, yes, of course.
But you get a point anyway because crème brûlée is my favorite.
Yes, of course. Ice cream with sprinkles. Yeah, and I bought you an ice cream which you still haven't eaten. I had to eat it for you. So
yes,
it's got to change. And of course, that corner is now absolute hell because there's an ice cream parlor and a cheese shop right next to each other. It's like, pest and
and in between it looks like a coffee shop or something.
No, that's to the right. The shop in the middle is actually the ice cream parlor. So you've got a cafe, or restaurant or something like that. It was some sort of eatery. And then you've got the ice cream parlor, which is only open from March till about September, October.
Makes sense.
Very close. How they do that, I don't know.
Yes.
And then you've got the cheese shop, which is just open. I have not been in that shop because I know that I will come out very poor, and it'll not do my cholesterol any good whatsoever.
Yes.
But as I said in the lunch meeting yesterday, we can do anything we want with moderation.
Yes.
Right.
Except sleep.
That is true. That is true.
What is your second question?
My second question is, what is the mayor most likely to overcomplicate?
Everything.
You're not speaking of experience, are you?
Yes, I am. You said I could give you grief, so I'm giving you grief. What do you overcomplicate? Everything. You pull it apart, complicate different parts, then put it back together as one, and it's still complicated, and then you delete it and redo it, and start again. Do
Okay.
you agree? Or did you have a different answer?
No, you're perfectly right. I think you get a bonus point for that. Not that it's usually a difficult question to answer. Um, um, so,
Don't overthink the answer.
so what would you do instead?
Breathe, read through the documents,
What the?
understand it, and then tomorrow you'll say, no, you changed it, delete that, here's something else. Then read it again, understand it again, try again.
Oh, it's becoming. This is
I
becoming.
just go with the flow.
It's becoming a bit like a human resources evaluation. Um, um, okay. Well, look, I have to compliment myself, though. I mean, at the beginning, I said to you, like, I don't know, what, 75 pages minimum? I actually have become better.
75 pages every day. Now it's maybe one with 10 pages once a week. Maybe.
So there's actually a problem in that. We are really well aligned. But in our second year, we have to become even better aligned so that we think exactly the same thing at the same time, and we don't actually have to do anything.
No, that's not going to be possible.
Oh, that's true because well, A, you're younger, B, different gender, so that already sort of precludes just about everything.
Yes.
Okay, so we will. It's not a goal we can work towards.
Yes.
Although,
But you overthink, and I think that's why you overcomplicate things because you overthink. You know that you try to change. That's good. I can work with that.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, how am I going to face the? I've got a night. I'm never going to say this again. And, I'm going to come up like sort of like sweet and sort of like bunny-ish type, rabbit type. Fruit Loop. I'm really really sorry, but hope you forgive me on this one. But I had another idea.
Yes, that's okay. So, what is my favorite way to celebrate small wins?
Oh, oh, that's a tough one.
Really?
You've got me there.
Oh, wow. Small wins. It doesn't have to be a big achievement or big accomplishment, just something small.
Well, I mean, it reminds me a couple of months ago, you won the lottery, what, 20 rand or something like that?
And that was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't
And,
much.
well, no, but you said a win is a win.
Yes. That is something I didn't celebrate, actually.
Oh, shame on you. You see, now you've deprived me of the answer. Um, a way to celebrate small wins. Oh God, this is embarrassing. I should know this one. You're going to
It's
say
obvious. Don't overthink it.
okay, give me the obvious answer.
My family, my husband and my son. I
Hmm.
spend time with them, watch a movie or play outside,
Yeah,
cook together.
yeah.
You knew it.
I knew it. I knew it, but I didn't associate it with small wins, but I associated with everything else you're doing. And I think the shift has become even clearer to me when you so basically you're if I get this right, you're just basically just working with Brida now, not with anybody else.
Yes.
And um, the one thing, the conversation actually has shifted, because when you were doing other contracts, the conversation was more about, the family, yes, but also the other contracts and so on. That's all fallen by the wayside, and the family has really come out more. Yeah.
Yes.
How you are evolving into a homemaker.
Yes.
As best as South Africa allows you to do it.
Yes.
Using your experience and the chaos of everyday life and using it to share that with other mums and so on. And you're really focusing on that.
Yes.
Yeah. And a lot of people would say, well, that's a very small world. The size of the world doesn't actually matter. It's the depth. And so I didn't actually associate that with small wins.
But I think it's also because, like, if we had a good day, we will watch a movie together. Or if we had a good day, we'll play cricket outside or swing ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I suppose, well, it's sort of, funnily enough, we did actually talk more about your family and private stuff at the beginning. Maybe that's because we're just trying to figure out who the other person was on the other side of the screen. That's sort of gone a little bit, taken a back seat, but it's become sort of a more bigger picture of the side project that you're developing.
Yes.
It's being merged into that. But it is hugely important. Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a lot of stuff that I sort of hear and read where half the problems that people are facing is because economically it is, at least in Europe, it's almost impossible to survive on one income. You have to have two incomes.
Yes.
And that just knocks everything for a six.
Yes.
And somehow you guys have managed to crack that code. It's not easy. And that's and I'm being deadly serious here, actually. It came through at lunch yesterday as well, ever so slightly, the amount of unhappy people there are in the workforce. Yeah. And you see it on LinkedIn as well. What is leadership, etc. And I see it in one of the company contracts that we have. I mean, you just die for the company. That's that you're going to just going to give up your soul for that. But I also think it is an employer's responsibility to ensure that there is time for family.
Yes.
Yeah. Now in Europe, that is actually, especially in Germany, that's quite strictly regulated. So emails outside of work hours are technically forbidden, as are business calls outside of office hours. And as of course you're on an executive level where that sort of, but on an ordinary employee level, that's and I have to say that your Doodle Horse project that you're developing on the side kind of pushed that message home for me as well. It sort of made me think, here you are, we in Brida, we still have a long way to go to get to where we want. It's not impossible. It is very, very achievable. And it's basically my responsibility to do that. That's what I have to do because, but it took us a year to get here.
Yes.
But I also have to, when certain things happened in your life, and you said, well, actually, it's not your problem. I said, no, maybe it's not my problem, but it's my opportunity. So that's what I was trying to signal that, yes, it's not my problem, but I want to be part of the solution.
Yes.
Yeah. So that you're happy, your family's happy. And I can just say, well, yeah, I did something good as well. So I didn't associate your question directly to wins, but, I hope that you know that I am aware of that, and it sort of floats in the back of my head.
I know you are.
Yeah.
No, you don't get a point because you didn't know it.
That's okay. I'm quite happy with that.
Okay.
I didn't get the point, but I got the moral high ground.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's worth more.
Well, I don't know. No, but I think this is, it's not the first time I've worked with people. I had my own language school, and couple of always that was a bit of a difficult terrain sometimes. But I think second time round, when you work somebody, especially as closely as we do,
Yes.
yeah, yes, there are certain boundaries, there are certain lines that you just don't cross. But on the other hand, as I said,
I don't think there's a lot of things we do not share with each other.
No, definitely.
There's a few things. The list is very short.
But I said at the beginning of I wrote an article that's probably still hanging around in LinkedIn somewhere. I said, talk. Yeah. Talk. Yeah. And that's critical. Yeah.
Yes. Very important.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, my third question. If something is going well,
yes,
what will Mayor do next?
Eat, drink, and be merry.
Yes.
Cook something, try a new recipe. You'll be in a very good mood. Maybe have a glass of wine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I will stick with that answer.
You stick with that one. Okay. I will celebrate the moment.
Yes.
I'll give you half a point on this one.
Okay, half a point. Celebrate the moment.
But then I'll rethink it again and see how can I do it better.
How can you pull it apart? Yep. While drinking wine.
Definitely. And we're heading into summer. We still quite haven't figured out where we're going to spend our apero evenings because we still have that building site outside, and it's going to be like this probably for another 2 months because it's just not dry enough.
Yes.
But I'm already eyeing that one particular bottle of South African wine that I used to drink a lot last year that we get in the locals. It's the only one that we can, well, we get a couple, but it's the only drinkable one. You export all the cheap, nasty stuff to us. And I'm just thinking, sitting outside at, the sun goes down, drinking South African wine and thinking, it was a good day. How can I do it better?
Yes. Yes. Sounds about right.
So
it's very you.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Right. So, okay. So I've got 1 point and 1 0. Okay. This third question is going to tip the scales.
What is my favorite snack while watching a movie?
Well, that's a loaded question.
Don't overthink it. Don't pull it apart.
Well, no, I have to. Because I know you had a me day and you locked yourself in your room and watched a series and very much to your surprise, your husband served you popcorn. And so that is, I would say, your favorite snack.
Yes.
But
I'll give you a point for that, for popcorn. Yes.
But
while watching a movie or watching a TV show or something.
Something like that, sitting in front of the screen, the TV screen. But the reason I say this is a loaded question is I don't think you would be averse to something chocolatey either.
No, of course not. If there's chocolate or something sweet, yes.
How's the chocolate stash going, by the way?
I still have some.
You still have some.
Yes, but it's hidden away. It's
Okay.
mine.
And only you know where it is, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah,
Safety concerns.
have you hidden it so that you can still find it, or have you hidden? You remember that?
I know where it is.
There's no chance of it being disappearing because you've hidden it so well you can't remember. Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right. Where have you hidden it?
In my closet.
All right. I won't tell anybody.
Oh well, you don't. My closet is not very big, but there's a lot of
Stuff in it.
hiding space. Yeah, it's a bit full.
We did talk about this, how many pairs of shoes you have. You said lots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I get a point. Yay. I get a point.
Yes.
Ta-da, ta-da. What is the mayor's default move when a conversation gets boring?
Tell a joke, make a joke, do something silly. Change the subject. Yeah. Change the subject to something else.
All right. What would you do in that situation?
That's a good question. I don't actually pay attention to that. Or what I do. When it gets boring, I get distracted. I have to admit that. And then I will just follow the conversation and then ask the next question or change with the Fruit Loopy question.
I actually noticed this on you. I mean, we were doing something last week, and I was trying to explain to you something quite technical.
Oh, yes.
And it was quite visible how your facial expression changed. So I thought, whoops.
I was concentrating and then thinking, what? Where do I get this? How do I do this? Am I supposed to know this?
I can't remember what it was anymore. I think
I know what it was. I think you had a split screen when you showed me the HTML for the pineapple. So on the one side you had folders, on the other side there was folders, and then you explain.
That when yes,
that.
okay. So when I upload the pineapple onto our server, yeah.
Yes.
Um,
It was the server, I think. That
yeah.
I know what a server is and I know how it works, but that was too much at that point.
Well, events this week showed me that is actually something you need to learn, just in case you have to do it. Yeah.
Okay. But we'll push that into next week because I don't have the energy today.
No. But there are a few things that you actually need to be aware of. At some point, you may have to do them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But that was the never saw anything quite like it. You just could see this cloud going over your eyes. Yeah.
It was my serious mode.
Which is, ladies and gentlemen, the two listeners on this planet. I have seen you serious. I don't think I've actually seen you angry. So
no, that's good. You don't want to see me angry.
There are stories floating in the ecosystem when you are angry, but I think they are more sort of on the private side. Have you ever been angry with me? Come on, confess. Is there anything that I've been that I've done that you really got your back up and said, God, what an idiot?
If there was, I forgot about it. It wasn't important.
Very kind. Okay. All right.
Do I get a point?
You do.
Oh, wow. Okay. Next question. What is my favorite way to de-stress?
It's not iron.
No. There's two possible answers, so you'll get a point if you choose either one of them.
Well, I think it's a generic answer. Do something that you enjoy doing.
Okay. Oh, what is that?
Well, that's how long's a piece of string. um, so that could be doing, your side project. That could be um, running to the hills, at least metaphorically. Um, that could be just sitting by the campfire in Kruger. That's like a once a year, twice a year event.
Okay. But
Uh,
in an everyday situation?
everyday situation, talk to your chili plant, which is coming out really nice, by the way.
Yeah.
Um,
It's obvious. Don't overthink it.
sit outside and drink a cup of coffee.
I'll give you one last guess.
No, don't put me out of my misery. Again, this is going to be like totally obvious. Yeah, I did think of that. Did you
Mm,
did you
didn't.
finish the book that your sister gave you, by the way?
No, no, I didn't. I didn't start it.
So you
I
weren't you
was
weren't stressed enough.
no, I actually I know I told you I read something, but I dug deep
Mm.
into the dark web to get the
Yes,
free book.
yes, yeah, yeah. Did they actually did the love actually sort of materialize? The couple, did they actually live happily ever after in that book?
Yes,
Or
they did. They got married. The father and the mother got divorced, so the mother was missing. The father bought a house for this guy and his girlfriend. They had 3 kids together, and they all lived happily ever after. The ice hockey player.
you see, it's a bit of an unfair question because it's a very broad church, that one. What do I do to de-stress? Because
But I'll,
because
I'll give you a point anyways, because you said doing something with my side project. So I said there were 2 options to the.
mm, yeah,
So one is
because
to design something,
mm,
create a pretty picture, and the other thing is to read to de-stress.
yeah,
And I usually read in the evenings after a long day, whether it's
I,
on my phone or a book.
it's actually something that I've done, but I do it at the beginning of the morning. I've actually sort of slotted, this is your doodle horse talking to me, and it's galloping into the kitchen and saying, "Oh, here's a book, mate, read." And I will read a couple of pages, and it's actually, you've got to build it up. So I don't have headspace in the evening, but in the morning I do. Um,
Yes.
you said, I remember a conversation earlier this week, I think, was it last week, where you said, um, I was working on Doodle Horse. And I said, that's work, but something I enjoy. Yeah. And that's why I say doing something you enjoy. Yeah.
Yes.
Which for others may seem looking like work, but it's pleasure. It's the energy that you derive, that you get from it. That's the critical point. Yeah. And
Yes.
being so. Okay. Um, question 5. Yeah. Did I ask you
Yes.
this? Okay. What is the mayor secretly bad at?
Hanging the washing after it finished washing the laundry. You forget it all the time.
Wasn't the answer I was looking for, but I'm going to give you the point because it is actually true.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a variation to that one because now I hang the washing up outside. I can actually leave it standing on the air dryer overnight, which is just what I
Yes.
did the first time. Yeah.
Yes.
But yes, yeah.
What was the answer that you had in mind?
Or switching off, keeping things short. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
yes. You don't switch off. You are always busy Weekends you are working.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you're bad at that. You're really bad at laundry. Doing laundry.
I'll give you a bonus point for that one. You're really bad.
I can't even keep count of how many times you said, "Oh, I forgot the laundry."
Yeah, when it's maybe we should start a score sheet.
No, I don't want to do that.
It happened to me. It happened to me last Saturday.
Again?
Yeah. It was, I had because I tried to get all the laundry done before my wife comes back, because I know she just brings truckloads of the stuff back home, and and laundry is always a bit of a delicate subject in this household anyway. And so I had a fair amount. The bedding had to be done, and the cat blankets, and I had some stuff as well. So, and I actually, on Saturday, I did a white swash, and I said to him, and I was in good form. Things were working well. I said, "Okay, Frank, do not forget the laundry. Do not forget the laundry. Do not forget the laundry." Yeah, I should have written it down. I should have used "She Who Must Not Be Named" from Amazon, because if I say her name, then she'll start piping up. Etc. Etc. I mean, I've got all the tools in my house. I mean, I can't trust my brain to do anything sensible. Yeah, but I did not do it. And by the late afternoon, I thought, oh, I forgot the laundry again. I can't tell this Fruit Loop because you just twisted it like a knife in my back. Yeah, you forgot the laundry. You stupid mayor, you. This is my goal for our next year, so April to March 27.
Find a way to remember the laundry.
Remember the laundry. Yeah, remember the laundry.
Okay. It fits with my next question. Oh. This is the preview I sent you this morning. What is my least favorite household chore?
Well, this is again a loaded question, because the obvious answer is you do not like ironing.
I don't do it, so it's not on my chores list.
Exactly. And that's the decoy in all of this. I think it is entering the war zone that is your son's room and cleaning that up.
Yes.
Only to find that 2 hours later, it's back into a war zone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an uphill battle.
Yes. Always. It's still tidy after I cleaned it yesterday morning. But it's not going to last because it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's weekend.
And then you sent me a WhatsApp on Saturday last week, and there's something along the lines that you weren't doing so well, and Aidan had your son had destroyed his room again, and I was sort of wondering if that was just the tornado in his room was going to walk through the entire house, and that Monday morning you would be left with
it. It did. I took a broom and I swept everything back into his room. Yes.
I just thought, why don't we just delegate this back to your husband and say, maybe he should.
That's a story for another day.
Okay. That's when it gets complicated.
Yes.
But I think that's a doodle horse project as well, isn't it? How to teach kids to tidy rooms.
I don't think that's the problem. I just think that we need to declutter all his toys because he has a lot. And space to keep it is running out.
you know,
Let's leave it there.
no, I was very, I might even do this. So you know, we have a fairly huge house.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this at some point. The theory goes, at least from my wife's perspective, is that we should move back to the family ancestral home that is her flat in the UK, which is about a third of the size of what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to figure out, well, if that we do that, which isn't going to happen, but should we do that? Where am I going to stay? Because there's no room for me.
Yes.
So I would have suggested move into a bigger house. From finances are totally different, but the logic would be move to a bigger house.
That is in our plans for the future, near future.
Yes, but I mean, it's sort of like bigger house, more space, empty space needs to be filled. So I don't actually know if that's a good idea. Yeah.
We had the same conversation, or we spoke about something similar.
Mm.
If there's an empty space, something has to go there.
We don't need to revisit this.
No,
Yeah.
no.
But I actually have to say, in my shame, and this is I should get probably about a zillion minus points in the doodle horse. My desk in my study or my office is a bit of a tip at the moment. So the rest of the house is okay. My space is a bit of a disaster, but it can only get better. Right. If the mayor disappears for 3 hours, what actually happened?
He cooked lunch, ate lunch, took a nap, or went shopping.
I'm actually getting very good at the shopping lark. It's only once a week.
Oh. Or maybe you had to chaperone someone somewhere.
That was the case, and there was the shopping. So yesterday afternoon, I was out and about, and I had to go to the bank, and I did chaperone my wife, but not chaperone in that sense of the word. But there was a certain amount of pressure to stock up, and I said no. Saturday, I won that one. Yes, cook lunch, eat it. Yep. But it's really a 2 hour thing. So have a nap in the afternoon, but fairly short, not like you.
Yes.
It sort of develops into a full-blown siesta lasting 24 hours, 365.
The whole weekend.
The whole weekend, and the next one in advance. You book these things in advance, don't you?
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
Yeah. So yes, you're right. Point for you. Having lunch. Looking forward to sitting outside for it in the summer.
Yes.
What would your version of these 3 hours look like? You disappear for 3 hours.
When I disappear. Just everything. A 3-hour nap.
I don't think so.
Doing homework. Or no,
yes.
I'm not doing homework. I'm helping my son do his homework. Cleaning.
Yeah, doing the stay-at-home mum, the homemaker thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Keeping. Yeah. There's actually a term for it. You manage a small family enterprise. That's what you do.
I'm the CEO of the household.
Exactly. Chief executive officer. Yeah. I will execute, thou shalt obey. Yeah.
Yes. Sounds good. I'm going to try that this weekend.
Good luck. Let me know what happens. You actually were very successful at it. You did actually go on strike one day. I remember that episode. I think I even sort of instigated that a little bit.
Yes, I did. And then a couple of weeks ago, I took the day for myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Right. Do you have a question?
How do I like, I almost ask, how do I like my coffee in the morning?
Well, you don't actually drink coffee. I'm sorry.
You are
Oh,
overthinking, overcomplicating.
no, you have this, you have instant coffee, don't you?
Some days, yes.
No, well, you're very well wheedling out of that one. um,
Let's just say it depends on the finances. If the finances are good, we have good coffee.
okay. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Mhm.
I've spent a long time standing in front of the coffee selection in the supermarket last week, figuring
It's
out
worse
which
than the petrol prices.
have they gone up? Have they shot up with you as well in
Yes.
South Africa? Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, that's obscene as well. Um, well, okay. So if it's instant or not or good coffee, I think you're a black and no sugar person, aren't you?
No.
White and sugar?
Yes.
Why do I think black and no sugar?
I thought yours is black and no sugar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, I like
No,
milk and
hang
sugar
on.
in my coffee.
Can you rephrase your? No, I've got the perfect answer. Can you give me your question one more time, please?
How do I like my coffee in the morning?
Hot, but usually it's cold.
Hot. Yeah. That's why I changed it. I drink it a little bit later. Hot. I actually typed a short answer here. Hot milk and sugar.
Okay, I get half a point. I got a hot
No,
eventually.
you got a full point.
No, I got that wrong because
I'll give you a full point for hot.
okay, it was very kind of you. Thank you.
When I read this question, I thought, okay, I think yours is black, no sugar,
It is black and no sugar, but I'm still looking
and
for
filter coffee.
yeah,
Mm.
but I don't like these capsules and these pads and stuff like that. I don't like them.
Yes.
Do not like instant coffee. But it's becoming a bit of a problem to find affordable coffee at this point. Yeah, and I just hate to think what else is going to go up just because a couple of two powerful men don't know how to behave themselves and fighting their fights in a sandbox, as it were.
Yes.
Okay. What gives Mayor energy the fastest?
Something good happening, something positive.
Someone gets it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to add in a joke visiting the hospital. No, but it's when something good happens,
Yeah.
something positive, something with good results, or definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Ritish last Monday saying that he read the pineapple cover to cover. Okay,
Yes.
so he read by listening to it, turning on an audio, making it. But that was like, wow, he got it. He liked it.
Yes.
That's brilliant. Yeah. So you're right. You get a point.
What was my favorite subject in school?
You had, I think, two favorite subjects.
Okay.
It was arts, and I think it was English. Arts, and you developed arts later professionally.
Yes.
And English to a certain degree as well, because that's what you work with.
Yes.
Maths was down at the bottom of the list. I presume sciences weren't.
It's not on the list.
And science wasn't far behind. But I would say arts and maths, not arts and English.
English, yes. I also enjoyed history and computer science.
History, yes, because I still remember that legendary conversation that we had a year ago almost. Who would we invite for dinner? Yeah,
Yes.
and you said you would invite Cleopatra. How do you pronounce it? Cleopatra.
Cleopatra, yes.
I thought, oh, this is an unusual one. Um, that sort of thing. That gave you a lot of brownie points at that point. You know, I was still trying to assess you. Thinking, do I really want to work with this Fruit Loop? You weren't even a Fruit Loop at the time. You were just
No, it was just me.
and I thought, oh wow, this looks good. Yeah, so arts and history, arts and English. Computer science, that's actually new. I didn't actually know that. What did
I
they?
had it as a subject in high school. So they taught us how to use Word and Excel, and
Ah, okay.
there was something else, but how to do the formulas in Excel spreadsheets and
Mm,
how to edit the Word documents and so forth. I can't remember. There was another one that we used, but like for data capturing and things like that.
mm, mm,
Um, and we also learned about the components of the computer, like a
mhm,
desktop and a laptop, and settings, all
mm,
kinds of things. Yeah. And I had it for 3 years in high school. It got more difficult. We had a practical exam and we had a written exam.
mm. And it doesn't stop because now you've got the mayor lording over you with HTML codes and server upload.
The HTML codes that I actually did when I studied graphic design
Mm,
in college. So I do have a little bit of background of programming like JavaScript and
mm,
PHP and
mm,
MySQL and I don't know what else, but
mm.
I haven't used it in a long time.
It's probably changed anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which question are you on now?
I'm question 8.
Okay.
In a slightly chaotic situation, what does the mayor do?
I want to say pull out your hair and freak out. It's already chaos.
Um, Probably yes. And then taking it from there, once I've pulled out my hair and freaked out.
Overthink,
Mm,
overplan, overprepare,
mm,
fix things.
mm. Yeah. Point to you. Yeah.
Wow.
How can I change this? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there's a way to change that.
What do you have to do when there's a chaotic situation?
I usually try to stay calm. I would breathe and just let things sort it out by itself.
And then
Tomorrow is another day.
and then
Pick
just
up the pieces
pick
tomorrow.
up the pieces with the broom. Yeah, maybe I
Yeah.
should learn that. Maybe I should learn that. But maybe that works with you and it doesn't work with me. Maybe that's where we complement each other. I don't actually know. Could be an idea. Okay. Question 8 from you.
What is my favorite type of cuisine?
That's actually a very badly formulated question.
Thanks. Favorite food is easy, but I want to
Yeah.
know what is my favorite type of cuisine.
Oh, so maybe the question is not so badly formulated after all.
Mm.
Because we have to differentiate between food and cuisine. So your favorite food is sushi.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure because Japanese cuisine is so much more than just sushi. I don't know if your favorite cuisine is Japanese. But then again, on the other hand, um, on the other hand, you have been brought up with barbecues with braais, so that would say that um, that your favorite cuisine is barbecues, but or braais, but that again is food. And this is actually something that comes to mind now. I'm not actually aware of a South African cuisine. That's something worth investigating. Um, but I do know that you have a deep love for Italy, and so your favorite cuisine is Italian.
Good job. Point for you. Yes.
Um, so the question was well formulated. It just took me a bit to get there.
Yes.
I had to
No,
dig
I
deep.
do like South African barbecues and
Is there something like a South African cuisine?
um I think it's more like traditional foods. Like some of the pictures that I send you with a
Mm,
vetkoek,
mm.
and obviously the barbecues and I can't remember. I send you so many things,
Oh no.
but like traditional foods.
Mhm. Speaking of which, I have it somewhere. I took a screenshot of it. I've got to find it. Anyway, I don't know where it. I think I know where it is. Um, so the next question, question 9.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's one thing I actually have noticed between you and me, and that's because of the environments that we live in. Um, you sometimes come across much more tough, not tough in the sense of bullish, but in the sense of um, being able to handle unexpected discomfort and unpleasurable things and gunky stuff because as
Fan,
you
electricity, water, mood swings.
exactly yeah um because the infrastructure in South Africa is, putting it politely, a little bit um unpredictable.
Wonky.
Yeah. um and that you have workmen who just want to dig a hole and then basically
Lovely.
put the country into pitch black darkness with no water and no Wi-Fi. And all he's done is just, all I did was dig a hole.
Yes.
Um, and because in Europe we're a little bit ahead on that, we had that phase about 40, 50, 60 years ago. So we've passed that. We've got different problems here. But sometimes I find you, um, I hate this word. I find you more resilient than me because your environment is so much different. You have to be, little things like, you know, um, um, in the evening, you pack your laptop away. You don't leave it standing in your office. I'm thinking that's such a small, insignificant thing. We
Mm-hmm.
don't do that here. We don't have to do that. Maybe if you live in
Yes.
a big city, yeah. But where I live, it's like I leave the front door open, everything's still here the next day. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, and it's this kind of shift that is so different when I think so. So the answer to your next question is actually really interesting for me.
Okay.
Where is the mayor too soft by your standards?
Saying no. Can I do this? Yes. Can you take me there? Yes. Can you cook lunch? Yes. You never say no. Did you feed the cats? Yes. Did you do the laundry? Yes. Did I hang them? No.
Okay. All right. I suppose that's been, the hospitality industry. I've worked 13 years in the hospitality industry. You didn't say no. You just said, and I suppose it's also part of my upbringing. But if you work in the hospitality industry, if a guest wants pink elephants, you make sure he gets pink elephants. Yeah.
And I think a while ago we spoke with Bruce as well, and he said, "Yes, dear."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's how you say it. Yeah. Okay. So I've got to learn to say no more. Okay. Where do you think you are stronger? And don't say saying no.
I think it comes back to the being resilient, but to cope with chaos. Things are falling apart. I managed to ride the wave.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's actually one of the hardest learning curves in our collaboration, where something has not happened.
Mm.
And I'm sort of climbing up the wall thinking, what's happening now? And I had to learn. I still have to actually inhabit this more. But may not be you. It's just simply that the whole country's just gone black and nothing can happen because,
Dark.
Yeah.
It seems dark.
Yeah. Okay.
Do I get a point for that? How would you give me a point if you didn't know what the answer was?
That's a good question. Oh, you get the point anyway. Being generous. I can't say no. There we are.
There we go. Point proven. Proof is in the pudding. And the other one, you gave me half a point. Instead of just saying no, you gave me half a point.
Exactly. Yeah, you see. What does that say? I need more doodle horse.
I think so.
Okay.
What is one hobby I've always wanted to pick up?
Oh my God.
I think this one you might not know. I can't remember if I mentioned it before.
It's stirring. Something is stirring in me. For some reason, it's connected with something with cycling. One of your cycling stories or something like that. We did talk about.
Might have mentioned that during a cycling
conversation.
Yes, but it's got nothing to do with cycling. So what is one hobby I've always wanted to pick up?
Don't actually know if it's a hobby. It might have been a profession. You've always had a soft spot for law. I think you wanted to become a lawyer at one stage, didn't you?
No, it's not a profession.
Not a profession.
This is a hobby, particular hobby.
Okay, I'm going to call it on this one because I think we did talk about it, but it's sort of gone into the mist of everything we've talked about.
I'll give you a hint. It's something that is associated with old ladies. Grandmas.
Knitting?
Close, not knitting.
Embroidery, crocheting, something like that.
Crochet.
Oh God, that was a snippet. That it floated past in. I've got to lower my hand again. But yes, we did actually. Hang on, how do I lower my hand? I've got to make the screen bigger.
I want to activate that setting.
Lower hand. Yes, crocheting. Yeah. You did actually, but well, that sort of floated past in some conversation. I wasn't paying 100% attention because I was just soaking everything else in. This is,
Overthinking,
no.
overcomplicating.
I was over listening, because I know these things will haunt me later. I know this. Why crocheting?
I don't know. It looks fun.
What's stopping you?
And actually, I don't have the equipment. Some other time. I actually helped my mom once. She tried to crochet, so she knows how to knit. She can knit, but she tried to crochet a flower. So my grandmother sent her a pattern and she started, but she had a little bit of issue with how to do something. So I watched a YouTube video and I helped her. And together, me and her and the YouTube video, we managed to crochet this flower. And it was actually fun.
Okay.
So I think one day I will definitely try it.
Okay. You said just now, you mentioned your grandmother, and of course we've now gone through the cycle, and everything until now has been unknown because we've never actually sort of experienced a month and what the month brings. But now, starting now, we're going on this unknown plus repeat,
Yes.
And I was thinking the other day, we were talking, and I was looking at my Spotify playlist, and sometime I think in August, you went to visit your grandmother. Or was it
Yes.
September? You had to go to
It was August. Yeah.
go to this country festival type thing. So is that on
Yes.
the cards?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Something to look forward to because now
Yes.
so it was like this happened last year, and it's going to happen again this year. So there's something like in our little private Brida calendar where I can say, okay, looking forward to this in August, that you will go there, possibly do the same thing, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely. Life is wonderful. Okay, right.
I'll give you half a point.
Thank you very much. It's very kind of you.
Because knitting, crochet, it's close, but not the same.
Not quite the. Okay, so, right. Last question. I think I have a bonus question here somewhere as well. No, I don't. This is the last question. What is something the mayor would deny, but is obviously true?
I want to say the first thing that comes to mind.
Then do that because that's the most natural.
Your YouTube login details. Remember, you said that's something that you would like to keep for yourself. You would share anything else, but not that.
Well, basically, because that's my Google account. I think because, but
I didn't know that. Now I know.
it's actually all complicated, and I need to sort.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I don't need to know. It's good. Out of community of property, it's yours.
Property, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Again, you get the point anyway, because there's actually no right or wrong answer here. So what does that actually tell you? Is there a symbolism behind the fact that the YouTube login? Because it's
just that we both have certain boundaries and we need to have some boundaries.
Definitely.
I think that's all it is.
Yeah, but
don't overcomplicate it, don't overthink it. Out of community of property.
That's my lesson for the day, isn't it? Okay, what's your last question?
What is my go-to comfort food?
Didn't we talk about this already?
It's different to my favorite cuisine.
No, I'm thinking your go-to comfort food. it's got to be sweet. It's
No,
not.
actually not. No.
Okay, I'm slipping on thin ice here. I mean, can it be a meal like a barbecue meat? Nice juicy steak.
Also no.
Oh God, I see this facial expression. I see the disappointment. He doesn't know this. I'm disappointed in him.
I don't think it's actually something that we spoke about.
Oh, this is unfair. Okay, give it to me.
Oily food.
Oily food.
Yes, oily food, like deep fried Russian and chips.
We
Or
did not
deep
talk.
fried fish or something oily.
And this is new to me.
Pizza, yeah.
What, deep fried pizza?
No. Pizza can also be one of them, but like deep fried food, oily food. Unhealthy.
Okay, no, I did not. I seriously did. I do not get a point for this.
I think.
Oh, you do not get a point for this because I didn't actually know this. You see, there are still things we can discover about each other. Yeah. Have you ever tried deep fried Mars bars?
No, sounds delicious. we have something similar. I don't know if you also have it. Similar to a Mars bar, but it's called Bar One.
It's probably the same, but just in a different name.
Same,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
But we
Twix
also have, we also have Mars bars.
Well, in Scotland they have
Deep
fried Mars bars. Yeah, I mean, it's like fish and chips, but you stick a Mars bar put it into batter and then stick it into the friteurs. Yeah.
I won't be able to buy one, but I can sure try to make one.
If you've got a deep fat fryer, or you can have access to a deep fat fryer, yeah, you just got to make the right batter, I'm sure. Oh. Okay, so what's the score for Fruit Loop?
You have 8.5 out of 10. And I win by 1.9.5 out of 10.
What does this tell you? We are quite aligned and you still come out on top.
Wow. Small win.
Go celebrate with your family. Yeah.
I thought something like this might happen.
Yeah. Go.
We know each other well enough.
As you wrote to me, you know me too well. And I wrote back, I can't help it. It's, sorry, I can't help it.
Happens naturally.
Exactly. Okay. Yes. Fruit Loop. I've got to see if I can find that. But while I'm just looking around on my computer here. So all jokes aside, but I really, really want to thank you for everything you've done in the last 12 months, which is more than has been thanked for, but you know that. But seriously, thank you for everything. And
it's my pleasure.
I am not ashamed to say that the impact you have had, not on just Brida, but on me as well, is immeasurable. Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
It's been a ride. Thank you for year one.
Thank you for you. Thank you for the old man sending me a message over potatoes.
I can't find it. I actually took a screenshot of the first WhatsApp message. I actually scrolled all the way back.
Wow.
To our first WhatsApp message. I still have them. Yeah. It's getting a bit critical now because I think after 2 years they start deleting automatically, so I might have to actually archive them. But I didn't throw anything away. If I've deleted very, very few messages, I think ones that I sent to you when they should have gone elsewhere. But I still have it, and it's strange reading it now. Hello, Frank. Thank you for the. It was
very formal and professional.
It was, and and how we have evolved from that.
Yes.
It's been an adventure. It's been a ride. Thank you so much. It's been fantastic, and
It's my pleasure.
let's
Let's
keep on
do it
going.
again.
Let's do it again. Let's do it better, and let's do it again. Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. You have the last word.
Let's have some fun.
I can live with that.
Yes.
Okay, so this was Peeling Potatoes, episode 39. I got that right.
Yes.
The anniversary episode, celebrating
Yes.
1 year of our collaboration, friendship, partnership, whatever you want to call it. Fun.
Yes. Yes.
Next week, it's going to take a slightly different tone. You're going to talk about this talk that you went to from your church a couple of weeks ago, which you sort of hinted at, but like, the one thing you don't communicate, so I'm
Yeah. I know that. I don't communicate and you overthink.
someone's got to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Fruitloop.
Okay.
Thanks very much. See you next week.
My pleasure.
Same time,
Take
same
care.
place. Bye.
Bye.